Welcome to Say More in Raymore, the City of Raymore's official podcast. I'm your host, Melissa Harmer, Communications Director for the city. Today we're with Dispatch Communications Supervisor Courtney Harrison. Hi, Courtney.
Hi.
Tell us a little bit about you.
I was born in Missouri. I moved to Rhode Island when I was about 2 or 3 years old before moving back around the age of 12. I'm actually kind of a nerd. I love to read, play video games, watch movies, hang out with my family. I love sports and getting to be involved as my son tries out for every sport he can imagine. He likes to navigate his passions and abilities, and getting to see that and be with him through that is really cool. I would say that traveling is probably my most favorite hobby.
Nice. Did you get a chance to do that every once in a while?
Every once in a while, sometimes once or twice a year, we try to go on at least 1 or 2 big trips a year and travel to new places, usually on a cruise or different countries.
Nice. Do you ever go back to Rhode Island?
Yes, I also try to do that once a year. Sometimes it's once every 2 years, just to see that side of the family and see my niece and nephew growing up.
Great. Where's your favorite place you've traveled to, if you could narrow it down?
That's a hard one. I went on a cruise where we went to Jamaica and the Cayman Islands. That was really cool and getting to experience that culture. But really just every place I go to, it's always something different. Seeing the food, seeing the people. So I don't know. I don't think I could narrow it down.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. All right, so tell me how you got started in this field.
I actually started at Belton PD in 2019. I was fully committed to the idea of becoming a police officer. Then I decided to marry one. So I not only fell in love with him, but I fell in love with the job. Being able to be on the other side and being the calm voice in the dark for our responders as well as our citizens was very fulfilling to me. I knew that I wanted to gain experience and be a leader eventually, so when the position opened up in Raymore, I carefully considered it, and here I am today. Positive for me in this position is getting to serve the community that I also live in.
Nice. And tell me again, when did you start in Raymore? How long have you been here?
I've been here since October of 25, so just a few months.
Okay. Wow, it seems like a lot longer, but time flies, I guess. Okay. Okay. You mentioned already a little bit, 911 dispatchers and communications officers are like the first responders. You're a lot of times the unseen first responders. So tell me about our Raymore communications officers. How many do we have? What are the shifts? Explain a little bit about that.
So we have 8 full-time dispatchers. I would make the 9th position. We're actually about to start training our newest recruit in the beginning of March, which is very exciting. And we have 4 shifts total, each staffed with 2 dispatchers. As the population continues to grow rapidly, our hope is to be able to staff 3 dispatchers per shift and really optimize the space that we have to accommodate the needs of the community. Our shifts are 24/7, 365. I always try to edit it to add the 365 because we're always here. There's never a time that you can't reach us.
Right. Are those 12-hour shifts that
yes,
each person's working?
12-hour shifts, 1 day, 1 night, and the 4 shifts total, so 2 dispatchers per shift.
Okay, gotcha. Can you describe a day or a night, or what are some of the things that happen during a shift?
Some of the things are similar. It depends on the call volume and the needs of the community. I would say that night shift tends to be a little slower, but a lot more chaotic things happen. During the daytime, it's a lot of administrative things, I guess you could say.
And you're talking about call volume, but overall, I think it's somewhere around 10,000 911 calls a year that you all take. And tell me who all you dispatch for besides just Raymore PD.
So it's Raymore PD, South Metro Fire Protection District, West Peculiar Protection District, Peculiar Police Department.
Animal control.
Animal control.
Yeah. I went on a ride along. It was a little bit uneventful until about 2 p.m. Is that a true statement? Like 2 p.m. is when things start happening.
So we're very superstitious in here.
Oh, no. Sorry in advance if I jinxed anything.
We don't say certain words. The full moon is a very real thing. Honestly, it's a solid mixture. Sometimes we'll have 2 major calls that happen before 8 a.m. It just depends on the day. Sometimes the season, sometimes when it gets warmer out. It
just depends.
It just depends.
Just depends. All right. Multitasking is a must. So you have to listen, you have to type, you have to be calm, you have to give medical instructions sometimes, and you have to figure out which first responders need to be dispatched to a call. So tell me a little bit about that and what skills are required for all of our dispatch communications officers.
So multitasking is definitely a must. There's several things that we have to do at the same time. It's typing, it's listening, it's trying to gather the correct amount of resources and sending them at the same time, all behind the scenes without skipping a beat or letting you know that that's what's happening. A common phrase that we like to use in the dispatching community is remaining calm in the chaos. We are the calm voice in the dark. And that means being solution focused, not emotional. And I don't mean not showing emotion. I just mean that people call us for help during some of the worst days of their lives. They're scared, confused, looking for answers. They're not worried about cursing or if they sound professional. That's our job. To remain professional and not let our own personal emotions cloud the situation or our judgment. It's not about us. It's about them and being what they need.
Right, right. A very serious, that's a lot of weight. Tell me how you deal with the emotional weight of the work when you're listening to all this trauma over the phone.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Sometimes it does get heavy. What's interesting about trauma is that your brain doesn't differentiate between audio or visual traumas. Both types of stimuli are converted into electrical signals. It triggers the amygdala before being sent to the hypothalamus, and that's the thing that controls the fight, flight, or freeze, right? If I were to describe a scene to you right now, it's warm, sunny, 75 degrees. You're laying on a beach on a blanket in the sand with a good book. Waves are crashing in the background. Children are splashing in the ocean, laughing. You get a very distinct visual in your head. Now, it may not be the same exact scene I'm picturing in my head, but it's similar. Your brain tries to create an image in your mind. The same thing happens when we're on the phone, trying to decipher the noises in the background, the scene the callers are describing, all while sending responders in the background. Sometimes it seems like our questions may be random or frustrating at the time, but they serve a purpose, and our interrogation leads us to the path that we need to take in order to get the best possible outcome for you and for everyone involved. That being said, this is a very good and close-knit team that we have here. I'm very lucky to be able to join a team that is already close-knit and works very well together. As far as how we handle things, we move on. The next call is going to come. I don't mean that to sound harsh, but it's reality. One call could be us giving CPR over the phone. The next could be a child that goes missing. We're pulling up maps and resources and sending all the people. And then the next call could be someone asking what time the post office closes. It's such a mixture that we have to be ready for anything. Being able to talk about those things between ourselves, it's basically like a little free session of therapy for us. We all understand what each other goes through, even if we're not there for the event, because similar events happen throughout all the shifts. So I know that they lean on each other. Like I said, they're very close here.
Are there any common misconceptions about the work that you do?
We can't actually use satellites to perfectly ping your location each time you call. That would be wonderful.
I thought that's how it works on TV. Come on.
Exactly. Technology is good, but it's not perfect. A lot of TV shows glorify our work, and it is very rewarding. It's also very limiting. For us as dispatchers, we can't physically respond to scenes to help our officers or help our medics. We can't physically give you CPR, so everything that we can do is limited to our monitors and keyboard and our voices. We have to rely heavily on those skills that we've established during the job to do our part in the entire cycle.
What are some important things for callers to remember to do if they have to call 911? Which, you're in obviously a scary situation, but is there something that you could share that would help?
Location is a must. Number one thing that we want to get from you is a location, whether it's a very traumatic situation, whether it's just a very normal day-to-day situation. If you're calling, we need to know location. We need to know how to help you, where to help you, who we can send. And again, going back to what I said about our questions seeming random or frustrating, they do serve a purpose. If we don't have our interrogation, we can't even decide what path we're going down to try to get to the best possible outcome. Most of the time, officers or fire personnel are sent within the first 120 seconds of the call. We're doing that behind the scenes while we simultaneously gather crucial information from you. A lot of times people will say, I don't want to answer your questions, can I just send them? Right. And I totally get that. It's frustrating. It's sometimes frustrating for me. But remembering that we're all on the same team, we're here for a common purpose, and we're here to accomplish a goal. We have to be able to do our job in order to get you the help that you're needing.
Right. Great. And can you tell me about some of the certifications that our dispatchers have?
So as a dispatcher, our certifications require us to go through an EMD training for all the emergency medical calls. We have to be MULES certified, which is the Missouri Uniform Law Enforcement Systems.
And EMD is emergency medical dispatch. Okay.
Yes. And so the MULES system is more law enforcement. That's how we get records. That's how we find information about people. EMD is more focused on life-saving measures and different protocols that we can do depending on the type of medical call. In addition to all of that, all of our dispatchers within the last year have now recently become CIT certified, which is the crisis intervention techniques. That helps us really on the phone try to de-escalate situations and remain problem-solving focused versus getting emotionally charged whenever someone calls. That's been a very useful tool that law enforcement across the board has really focused on, embraced. Our training also consists of 18 weeks in-house training. It varies between 16 to 18 weeks. That's very much on-the-job training. We go through each section 4 to 5 phases depending on what each trainee needs. That's all hands-on. Additionally to that, the 3 weeks of outside training is where you get your EMD certifications, your MULE certifications. We go to active shooter trainings put on by other local municipalities. Our FEMA training is also done at the very beginning of our training stages during our orientation period. That's the Federal Emergency Management Association training, helping us deal with mass incidents that may involve multiple agencies at the same time. We also go through CPR training that's usually put on by our local fire department. Usually South Metro Fire Department will put on a class, and we touch on that every 1 to 2 years, make sure that we're up to date on the current CPR expectations. And
so lots of training goes into it, even ongoing after you're hired.
Yeah, we have a lot of continuing education that we do as well, and that's various websites that we can use internally, whether it's APCO or Virtual Academy. They have a lot of telecommunicator-focused classes, and we have to do about 12 every year. So we're constantly doing our continuing education, making sure we're up to date on the most recent information.
In the middle of also answering calls.
Yes.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yes.
Let's move on to just a few quick questions, okay?
Okay.
So, what did you want to be as a child?
Actually, as a child, I wanted to be a meteorologist and chase tornadoes.
Is this the Twister era? Was it Twister that did it for you?
Yeah, I think so, actually.
Okay,
it
same
was
for me for a little while, yeah.
I can't say that as an adult I'm not still looking for some of that excitement. I'd like to say that I go to the basement like I'm supposed to. Sometimes I take a little peek at the clouds.
Well, severe weather preparedness week is coming up here in Missouri,
yes,
we will be doing our tornado drills, and you guys are kind of already in the basement.
Yeah.
So you're in a protected area of City Hall, so you don't move.
No, we just stay there and...
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's helpful.
Yeah.
That's helpful. Because likely you would be taking some calls in the aftermath, I suppose, of
Absolutely.
A natural disaster such as a tornado. All right. Do you drink coffee all shift? Like, how do you... So if anyone has ever sat in and observed in our Emergency Communications Center, is that what it's called?
Yes.
It's dark in there. There are tons of TV screens, computer screens. How do you make it through a 12-hour shift kind of at your computer or at your computers, computer displays? Do you drink coffee all shift? What do you do?
I'm actually not a coffee person. I'm a tea drinker, but caffeine is a must.
Yeah.
Snacks, we try to, do healthier snacks, some vegetables, some fruit throughout the day, just kind of munching as we go. We love our snacks.
You don't really leave during a lunch break.
No. Our lunch break is taken there at the console, and it is very dark in there, but a lot of us actually prefer it. A lot of us don't prefer the sunlight. We joke that we're kind of vampires in that way.
I think next group Halloween costume idea is...
Exactly.
Okay, one thing you wish every caller knew, you kind of already talked about that, was make sure that you just can share your location as closely as possible. Is there anything else on that?
Besides the location and besides remembering that we have very specific questions in order to get you the best help possible, I would say that 911 hang-ups are something that we deal with every single day. And a lot of them are by mistake, and that's okay. We don't mind. We're not mad that a 911 call comes in and is hung up. Just remember that your phone actually connects a lot faster than you think it does. So when you go to stop it, we've already received the call, a very generic location sometimes, and the phone number. So we're always going to call back just to make sure you're okay. Just try to answer for us. Give us your name. Let us know you're okay. That's all we're wanting to hear.
Yes, I accidentally did that for my office phone a few years ago. Thought I hung up fast enough. I didn't, and I got this call, Melissa. Did you call 911? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. They're like, no big deal. So really, it's if you accidentally do it, just stay on the line and be like, sorry,
Yeah,
That's the best thing to do.
Yeah, because it
Yeah.
definitely happens a lot faster. The connection happens a lot faster than you think. And so staying on the line just kind of expedites that process. Hey, sorry, mistake. Didn't mean to call 911. I'm okay. Perfect. Great. Have a great day. That's all we need.
Great. And then, as you mentioned before, the full moon really does make a difference.
I like to think so. And I would say a lot of my peers also think so. I know that's just not within my agency. That's all across the board. That's patrol, that's fire, that's dispatch. Everyone thinks that the full moon, or really has seen that the full moon does have some sort of effect.
Is there anything else like weird that has an impact?
We don't use certain words.
Okay.
So we call it the Q word. Whenever you walk into dispatch, we do not say the word quiet. I am not currently in dispatch, so I can say that word. That is
like
a very
you wouldn't
big
say,
one.
sorry, can I say it because we're not in there? Like you wouldn't be like, ooh, it's quiet today.
Oh, yeah, absolutely not.
That would just jinx
quiet,
you. Okay.
slow, absolute jinx. All of a sudden, things start catching on fire. Grass fires happen on the highway. That's...
Okay. Got it. So if I ever visit you down there, I will not mention anything about the surroundings or what I think is happening or not
Definitely
happening.
not.
Okay. Good to know. I was recently informed that even though on TV, dispatchers help deliver babies all the time via 911 calls, that actually doesn't happen that often. So we have a dispatcher who has delivered not one, but 2 babies over the phone. Oh my gosh, 3?
3.
Was there a recent one?
There was, I don't
Oh.
know. I have to say that this all actually happened before my time.
Okay.
So I hope I can do this story justice. It really doesn't happen often. Everyone wants to say, you know, I got to help deliver a baby. That's a really cool thing, bringing a life into the world and being a part of that cycle, making sure that we're doing it safely. She's had the opportunity to do 3. That's
Wow.
Brianna, and she's amazing. And those call recordings, I know that the families were very thankful and very happy with Brianna's ability to help them walk through those steps, because that could be a scary time.
Right.
And to do that safely, all 3 babies, by the way, were birthed before medic personnel arrived on scene.
Wow.
So those were full moments that she's gotten in just under 4 years of service. Myself, I have 8 years under my belt, and I can't even say that I even came close. There was maybe 1 or 2 times, but no, she's had 3 full events successfully.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm. What's really interesting is that one of those 3 babies that she delivered, she and her fiance just bought a house last year, and one of the couples that lived next door to her when they were meeting their neighbors actually ended up being the grandparents of one of the babies that she delivered. So it's not very often that we get those full circle moments, or we necessarily get any closure from the calls. Typically, it's just we hang up the phone. Sometimes we hear about like a patient status or about how things happened after the fact, but I know that this was a really fulfilling full circle moment for them.
That is super cool. And also you really, that's right, you don't meet a lot of the people you save
Right.
or talk to. That's interesting.
Yeah, and that's why, you know, as much as it sounds harsh and it's unfortunately just the reality, the answer to how we deal with it is we just move on. We just move on. The next call's coming. There's always going to be someone else to help. And
Got
so
that work to do. Keep doing it.
That's it.
Yeah. Coming up in April, a little over a month away now, we have National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. So if anyone wants to check out our Raymore Police social media during that week, we'll share a little bit of information about all of you in your division of the police department. And I would just like to say thanks for everything that you do, because it's a lot, and it's I know it can be tough emotionally and mentally, but you're doing such an important job, and I know a lot of lives have been saved because of what you do, and so what you do makes a difference every day. So thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate that. And yes, I dispatch, and yes, I'm working the console. I really would just like to give a shout out to my team. They're the ones that really do it 24/7, 365. It is a mentally draining job. I know that especially when there's a lot of overtime or it's on the long weeks. While it's on the long weeks, it gets very tough sometimes, and you have to be conscious of your mental health, but it is also very rewarding getting to help our community and hearing those success stories about like those births, or there was a story about how we sent fire personnel out on the lake to save a little family of deer. That was very cool. Getting to hear what they're doing and that those success stories are coming out makes me very proud to have stepped into this role and be able to work with such an established and amazing team.
Awesome. What advice do you have for somebody thinking about entering your field?
Come in and observe us. Come in and sit with us, talk to us, ask questions. Make sure that it's something that you really want to do.
Perfect. Thank you again for being here, Courtney. And if anyone wants any information, check out our website, raymore.com/police, and they can get in touch with you through the police department. So thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. It was super fun to be here, and I'll be happy to answer any more questions that the community has. I'm here. You know how to get a hold of me.
Great. Thank you again.
Thanks.